to check for irregularities.
Mr. Masime, I'm wishing to be educated.
Yes.
If, for example, I am a politician who feels that I lost unfairly, because the stakes are high in all this. You know, people are
I get your point.
Right. So I feel because it's all very well saying that so and so has won the election, but I feel that in some way I've been diddled. Now I go back, and you've got your observers everywhere. You've invited the great and good eminent persons, Kofi Annan, Benjamin Mkapa. They're all here watching it. But I am unhappy because I lost unfairly. To whom shall I go?
I mean, the legal framework is very clear.
No, but I'm trying to suggest that would you back me up from your warnings and say John was correct, he should have won? Because you've been monitoring it. That's your role. You saw the thief stealing the food. Another analogy.
Let's go systematically.
Yes.
I've told you that we'll do an audit of the voter register from an independent point. And we will be able to certify if it is right or wrong. That's one step. Even in terms of the election, of course, we don't have the capacity to do it for all the constituencies, but let's say the presidential election, we'll do what we are calling parallel vote tabulation, through which, in terms of scientific sampling, we can project who won in terms of percentages within the margin of error. So, if our data says you won and you are being denied, the title, we will raise the alarm on your behalf.
Mr. Masime,
if our data proves you wrong,
with respect, the opinion polls are already projecting winners even as we speak. So, do you go along with them, or are your polls better? In which case, you're trying to suggest that the opinion polls are not to be believed.
Ours is not an opinion poll.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yes. Ours will be the real thing,
it's
projected.
It's a sort of PhD analysis.
No.
What is it then? Because I'm telling you, maybe the opinion polls say, we read the papers.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
A day in politics, it's like a century. We know all that.
Exactly.
Opinion polls tell you what would have been the situation as at now. Between now and the 4th of March, which is about 2 months away, a lot shall have changed.
Right.
So opinion polls can mislead you. It's not that they mislead you. They are right as at now, but they're not right for tomorrow, the day after.
Right.
Our projection will about what happened on election day. Right. You get my point?
I take your point entirely. Yes. Now, with this whole notion of readiness, I mentioned the idea of international observers.
Yes.
Are you, as a civil society, operating alone or with others? Yes. And with others, I suggest, are you getting funding from stakeholders who have a vested interest in the outcome of our elections?
Kenya is a
again because we read. Let me give you. I do read my newspapers. People are saying these foreigners, let them leave us alone. These constant analogies to these foreigners.
Yes.
Who are the good foreigners and who are the bad foreigners? I'm just because you're saying you monitor all these aspects and all their forms.
Yes. As you know, we are democratizing as a country, and of course, even as civil society organization, we benefit from democracy assistance.
Right.
Yes. So
is it offered? Is it offered, or do you ask for it?
We ask for it.
Right.
Because we know it's the right of citizens.
So who am I going to get a loan from? From whom? Let's continue out. This is the interview of analogies.
It's not a loan.
Yeah, but
it's a grant.
Okay, a grant. Okay. Call it a grant.
Use.
Yes.
Yes. I know we are a poor country.
Yes.
We know that citizens need to participate.
Right.
In the electoral process at the monitoring and observing level.
Right.
Yes. We go out there. Seek for funds to do this.
Right.
Yes, and that's what happens.
Right. You go back to the timeline. We go back to what we've seen in the run-up.
Yes.
The complete mutilation of the Political Parties Act, which has brought the nomination exercise too close to the election time.
Yes.
We know that.
Yes.
Now, will you have the time to resolve conflict arising from petitions? In other words, let's put that in simplistic terms.
Yes.
Will we have the next president of Kenya in March 2014, and Mwai Kibaki will continue to lead us until then, and the ministers will award themselves another hefty pay rise for coming back to help us?
Remember that part of the reason why violence broke out in this country was that there were no mechanism put in place to resolve electoral disputes or conflicts. I think we should be happy as a country that now the process there in terms of the constitution and the law to allow us to resolve this problem. It should be impatient. This is a democratic process. And so long as people are stuck within the law,
yeah, but
we should let the law take its due process.
There's another sort of intelligent question to ask, perhaps,
Yes.
which is there a deadline that people work to so that we're assured that these mechanisms will assure us of a president by, let's say, September the 9th?
I think you don't want to talk about deadlines here. I mean, you have to find yourself in a situation where justice is exhausted.
Yes, but otherwise the country is in turmoil. Investors have fled. Nobody dares to come back and prospect for oil in Turkana because they don't know why. The consequences are dire. You're giving the school report and saying, you know, the country will improve with time.
Let us trust the institution put in place to resolve these issues, to act on the best interests of the country.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take your word for it. Mr. Masime, one last area of concern. We started off by saying that you were a watchdog body.
Yes, yes.
And we mentioned the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Yes.
Might you say some words about their successes or failures in this process, since you're watching them, or that's part of your mandate? And this is their big moment. Forget
Yes.
the others that you're dealing with.
The message I will put across to the Independent and Boundaries Commission is that looking at where we came from as a country, part of the reason why the old commission, the Election Commission of Kenya, failed was that it didn't have the teeth, it didn't have the powers, it didn't have the wherewithal to run elections properly. We've reformed our laws. Now the commission has the teeth, it has the resources, it has the mandate. We trust that they will deliver. And part of the mandate is to make sure that the citizens participate in this country, to be transparent and accountable as much as possible. I would urge them to work with the people. Let them.
Sorry, no, before they walk with the people, the citizens seem some sort of whole. Kenyans are not whole. The people
Yes.
are tribes, ethnic groups, ethnic communities, their clans. Address this issue. We're not operating as one. We're operating as the marginalized of 50 years, those who've prospered.
Let me tell you, the environment is not ideal. There are problems with there are political problems. But what I'm saying.
So you're saying we're going to live on hope alone?
No,
we don't have structures in place that go beyond hope and goodwill and preaching to the people to be nice when the big moment comes and love their neighbor.
What I'm saying is that there are mechanisms in place. What I would urge IBs to do is not to give people an excuse to be chaotic.
Right.
If they run the election properly, we might not even be happy with the results, but we happy with their intentions. There's the law. If they follow the law properly to the letter, deliver on the elections in a manner that everybody sees as free and fair, transparent and accountable, then that can mitigate any trouble that might arise because of people feeling disadvantaged in one way or the other.
One final question.
Yes.
And a short answer, if you may.
Yes.
What responsibilities are you according to yourself in this process?
We are
ELOG.
We are observers, and we are going to document this process and give data, alternative data, that can help resolve problems if they arise.
Mr. Kennedy Masime, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's nice.